Is the introduction to my breathwork experience, the aligned living breathwork experience and inspired art. And I am referring to the breathwork experience that's coming up December 9th, 2022. And I'm going to have several ongoing breathwork experiences. So you are welcome to look at my website, alignmentprairyana.com, for any of the other upcoming breathwork experiences. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I want to let you know that you are truly the brave ones who are coming forward and are ready to face feelings and emotions and step into your wholeness. It truly is a brave process, and it's not always the easiest thing to do, but I just want to commend you for being here and even just having the interest in this breathwork experience. So just to let you know, that going into this process, this meeting here, I want to share a little bit with you about my experience, what brought me to breath work, about my healing journey, so to speak. And then I want to let you know that getting into your healing journey, that's something that we're going to get into processing, and how breath work is going to help with that. And we will get into the whole flow of the breath work experience that I'm going to be presenting. The way I do breath work is just a little different than the way some other people do their sessions. So what makes my session a little bit more unique compared to others. So a little bit about my journey. I would say that myself, like so many others, I have had my adversity in childhood, things that carried over from childhood into the relationships I was having. And I, at some point, realized that I was the common denominator in all of those relationships. So I finally got to the place where I was ready to work on myself and dig deep into figuring out what was the dis-ease, what was causing me to have disharmony within myself, and how that was coming into my relationships. And I had gone to a lot of counseling, and that was very helpful. But I also did energy work, and that was amazing. And one of the things that more recently that I participated in was a breathwork experience. And I feel like it really opened me up and helped move a lot of energy through my body, and helped me get to a point where I was feeling more whole and complete, and helped me transition through a big experience that I was going through not so long ago, about a year ago. So we all have our stories, and we all have our interpretations and our belief systems that we attach to those stories. And a lot of times those belief systems can really hinder us in life and hold us back from being our greatest self. If we have a negative interpretation or judgments, shame and blame, that kind of stuff, it can really lower our vibration. A lot of times we end up attracting other people into our lives with that similar lower vibration, or somebody who's going to help play out our beliefs about the world. So this breathwork experience is a lot about that exploration of what's going on with you. What are you feeling? How do you want to feel? And then moving the body and breathing, so that the energy within the body, and helping it to get unstuck. So that's just a big part of the exploration. So I'm sharing here a photo of me during a big breathwork experience. And I had just finally been broken open with the energy. And I finally hit that point where my body was ready to just finally feel all of the emotions I had been just shoving down so much, with my voice box being shut down, with my energetic flow in my sacral solar plexus chakra. My heart was hurting really bad, but at this point, I had been I call it broken open, just in a good way, though. I was able to release a lot of that stored trauma and energy. And when you release energy, it opens you up for the good energy to come in. When you release the stuff that, I don't want to call it bad energy. If it's something that's holding you back and not allowing you to expand and have healthy relationships, then that is going to be energy that you want to allow to release. So yeah, we'll get into what your story is, what your attachments are to those stories, and then get into the breath work. So here's the big question, because breath work is relatively new. It's not new, but it's newer into mainstream. I know a lot of us have picked up on like ayahuasca ceremonies and mushroom trips and stuff like that. But breath work, it's similar, but it's different. You can actually reach those similar heights of a psychedelic experience through breath work. We have natural occurring DMT in our bodies, and this breath work technique activates that DMT. So I'm just going to read kind of like what breathwork is. Breathwork is a therapeutic technique that utilizes simple breathing practices to lead participants into a non-ordinary state of consciousness, where unconscious and previously repressed thoughts and emotions can more easily rise to the surface for release and integration. This process of repetitive breathing relaxes the body and mind, allowing you to drop into deep meditative state where the codes of self-healing are cracked open for stress and trauma to be processed. I think a lot of us, there are people who are carrying so much trauma and stress, but we just cope and we deal, or some of us don't even realize that some of those things that happen to us in our lives actually are still affecting us. You know, we might think of ourselves as being so strong or capable, or our society tells us we have to be a certain way. And so we don't even look in deeper to what's going on. The breath work helps to, I like to use the analogy, remove block, like clogs. So if our energetic system was a, you know, a sink drain or something like that, and there's a clog, you want to, you know, a hair or something like that, you want to get that clog out of there so that your energy can flow more freely and you can charge up your energy. So that's what this breath work is about. It's about getting into that flow state where you are deeply relaxed but still conscious, and you're letting your energetic system flow. Something that's maybe more attractive to some people about breath work is that whereas on a, say, an ayahuasca trip, I'm not knocking it anyway. There's very powerful, there's a lot of power in the ayahuasca ceremony. Just a difference is, for a comparison, is that with breath work, you can shut it off and you can get back to your regular conscious state. Whereas with ayahuasca, you got to ride the storm. You have to, I don't know, sometimes it's a storm, it's not always a storm. You have to ride it out until the medicine wears off. And that can be hours and hours. So this may be a good breathwork, maybe a good interlude, or substitution, or just something to do to help you get that energy moving without actually having to take psychedelics and go through that process. And again, I'm not knocking the psychedelic process at all. It's a beautiful experience, but it's not for everybody. And I recognize that. So yeah, so when you are in that process, in that state, once you've done the breathing, and I want to share the breathing, it's about an hour and a half of and it can be quite intense, especially in the beginning. At some point, your body just gets used to it, and you get into it, and you get into that state, and your pineal gland, your third eye chakra, your DMT, everything gets activated, and you are able to get into that relaxed state where you're able to process stuff that you may not even know that you need to deal with, or you know exactly what you need to deal with, and it comes up. So during that state, people can, their sound, they may make noises, yelling, screaming, moaning, like a birthing kind of experience, crying, shaking, all of that stuff, even laughing, like hysterical laughing, because you're moving that energy, and there's so many feelings that you weren't allowed to feel, or you didn't allow yourself to feel, or you're told was wrong, or you felt was wrong, and they're just, you're feeling them, you're giving yourself permission. So that is the beauty of it. In the breathwork experience, a couple of times I felt a little awkward because I felt like people were being really loud. I was a little taken back by it. And I just want to share right now something that I did when I was experiencing that little awkwardness was I hadn't given myself permission to vocalize, for one thing. So to give other people permission, in my mind, I needed to give myself permission to, hey, if I have something, I should, I'm giving myself permission to let it out. And the other thing too was just holding gratitude for that person. But, oh, wow, this is huge what they're going through right now. And I'm so happy for that person that is letting this out. This is something that's been locked within for a long time that they haven't let go of. So just holding gratitude. Oh, I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for me to be able to be honored to be the witness. So it's just a way of, talking with yourself to get past discomfort. Some people don't have discomfort in witnessing somebody else's experience. And that's wonderful. So you just holding space for each other and in the same time holding space for yourself. So all of these expressions are welcome. And coming to the circle, that's something, to the breathwork experience, that is something to be aware of, that you are holding space and others are holding space for you. And it's a safe container. So who is breathwork for? I say breathwork is for anybody who is seeking to get unstuck from emotional patterns. We get stuck in these little emotional patterns, and if we don't deal with stuff, say we're in a relationship and we keep having similar experiences, and we don't deal with it and process, we're like, oh, it's just that person. I attracted the wrong person. Well, we need to deal with our own stuff. What is it that's causing me to keep attracting that experience into my life? So it's dealing with the emotional patterns and releasing them, letting them go, so that you can make way for what is good for you, what is aligned, what do you want. And that's also part of the ceremony, is getting clear on what you actually want and getting creative